charming welcoming committee.
Bruce here, people. And let's be real, your RPG backlog might be a beast. But what if I told you there are 14 incredible RPGs that slipped under your radar, and they're all quietly flexing genius-level storytelling, combat systems, or world building while you were busy grinding in the big-name titles? We're talking about overlooked indie gems to forgotten console exclusives. These are the games that didn't get the spotlight, but absolutely deserve a spot on your playlist. No repeats, no filler, just pure role-playing gold. And hey, if one of these surprises you, drop a comment below and let us know which one you're adding to your list.
30 years ago, strange metal airships appeared in our skies.
Edge of Eternity. If you've ever looked at your JRPG shelf and thought, I wish Final Fantasy and Xenoblade had a passionate indie baby, this one's for you. Developed by France's Midgar studio, yep, that Midgar, this game kicked off its long journey with a 2013 Kickstarter campaign and eventually saw the light of day on PC in June 2021. Console players got their hands on it by February 2022. Yes, even Switch users via cloud streaming. You'll play as Darion, a soldier who ditches duty when his mother contracts a gnarly alien infection. Teaming up with his sister Celine, he sets out to find a cure on a world where mechs and mages coexist in uneasy harmony. Gameplay pulls from tactical and turn-based combat styles using a hex grid system and ATB, active time battle mechanics that should tickle nostalgic nerves. Oh, and they kept the updates rolling. New Game Plus, a 50-floor dungeon, the works. The storytelling might wobble in parts and characters won't win universal affection, but the clever combat system and visually gorgeous backdrops do the heavy lifting. And now, with a sequel Edge of Memories officially announced for 2025, it might be time to give this underdog some long overdue respect.
If all is in order, we will soon be embarking on your boat.
It brings me comfort to know my son has left on a mission to heal his people.
GreedFall. Back in September 2019, Spider Studio, known for their scrappy, ambitious RPGs, unleashed GreedFall, a sprawling, choice-driven adventure set in a colonial fantasy world that's equal parts plague-ridden Europe and magical wilderness. Think Baroque aesthetics, muskets, powdered nobles, and island gods made of bark and fury. You play as Desade, a noble-turned diplomat shipped off to the mystical island of Tir Fradi in search of a cure for a deadly plague. But nothing's ever simple. Warring factions, native tribes, supernatural creatures, and ancient secrets all pull you in different directions. How you navigate this mess, by blade, spell, silver tongue, or shady deals, is entirely up to you. Gameplay thrives on flexible systems. Real-time combat with a tactical pause, stealth routes, full dialogue trees, and branching quests with real consequences. Your companions react to your choices, and your allegiances shift the story dramatically. Customize everything, from your appearance and gender to your combat style and abilities. It's available on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series XS. The PS5 plus Xbox upgrade adds performance polish that's worth checking out. For those who miss BioWare's golden years but want something fresh, this gem might just be your new obsession.
The decision is yours, Arisen. For the price of a single life, I shall leave this land in peace.
Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I think before Elden Ring even made dragon slaying an art form, this beast of an RPG already had players grabbing onto griffins mid-flight and hacking off Hydra heads like it was an after-school hobby. Originally released in 2013 for PS3 and Xbox 360, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen found its true stride with the PC launch in January 2016, followed by polished PS4 and Xbox One ports in 2017. You step into the boots of the Arisen, a chosen warrior whose heart literally gets stolen by a dragon. What follows is a gritty, open-world adventure packed with mythic monsters, glowing cliffsides, and morally grey choices. But here's the thing. Your party members, called pawns, are entirely AI-driven and learn from you. They mimic strategies, exploit enemy weaknesses, and can be shared online for loot and strategy tips. Need a tank or a lightning-slinging mage? Borrow one. Combat is weighty and vertical. You can latch onto monsters mid-battle, scale their bodies, and target weak spots in real time. With 9 vocations, tons of upgradable gear, and the notoriously brutal Bitter Black Isle dungeon, there's enough meat here to keep hardcore RPG fans gnawing for hours. It's available on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and yes, it still holds up beautifully today. Jade Empire. Released in 2005 as an Xbox exclusive, this one became BioWare's first original IP, years before Mass Effect ever took off. It later landed on PC in 2007 and even made its way to mobile platforms by 2016. Set in a world of spirits, scholars, and corrupt emperors, you play as the last spirit monk, a warrior with mystical ties and a moral compass that actually matters, and you must unravel a conspiracy that's tied between all the realms. With real-time combat instead of the turn-based systems seen in Knights of the Old Republic, battles here are fluid and combo-heavy. You'll swap between hand-to-hand martial arts, magical strikes, and devastating weapon styles. Add chai-based magic and the ability to slow time with focus, and the fights get deliciously strategic. But it's not all fists and fury. Your choices push you down the path of open palm or closed fist. 2 opposing philosophies that shape not only the ending, but your relationships, companions, and even romances. Available now on Xbox, PC, and mobile, Jade Empire is a gorgeous, soulful RPG that deserves more attention than it ever got.
Think we're fighting for Aurora? You're wrong, officer. The opposition is made of patriots.
Colonel Victor won't stop until he pushes the people of Abundance to flee or fight.
The Technomancer. Mars isn't exactly the most welcoming vacation spot, but if you're packing lightning fists and questionable morals, it's home sweet radioactive home. In the Technomancer, you play as Zachariah, a newly minted warrior-mage hybrid called a Technomancer. What's that mean in gameplay terms? Electricity-based superpowers, 3 combat styles, and the ability to send heavily armored goons flying with a single jolt. Released in 2016 by Spiders Studio, this underrated sci-fi RPG is equal parts gritty survival and political intrigue wrapped in Martian dust. Your journey spans across the terraformed ruins of a post-apocalyptic Mars where factions battle over water, secrets, and control. You'll tackle quests using brute force, silver-tongued diplomacy, or a bit of trickery. Your call. Decisions impact the storyline, companion loyalty, and how the world sees you. And yes, you can get into or mess up relationships, because who doesn't want emotional chaos with their mutants? The game features a robust crafting system that lets you modify weapons and armor, not just for function, but for style. Skill trees let you tailor your playstyle further, and companion systems unlock new quests and story beats. Available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, the Technomancer may be rough around the edges, but there's raw power pulsing underneath. Wasteland Remastered. So the deal here is, it's the year 2087. Nuclear war turned the American Southwest into a crispy wasteland. Mutants roam free, and you're humanity's last desperate hope. On top of that, You're a desert ranger, a badge-wearing gunslinger, trying to keep some form of order in a world where water is rarer than mercy. But it's not all about scavenging for loot and blasting raiders. There's something darker out there, and you're going to have to track it down one dusty corpse at a time. Originally released in 1988, Wasteland laid the radioactive groundwork for the Fallout series. The 2020 Remastered edition keeps the gutsy, open-ended gameplay of the original, but gives it a much-needed facelift. Think cleaner visuals, fully voiced digital versions of the iconic in-game storybook, and a remastered soundtrack that hums with post-apocalyptic dread. Decisions in Wasteland matter. Do you help a desperate town, or let it burn to save ammo? Recruit a band of survivors, or go solo? It's your mess to make. Plus, controller support and quality of life tweaks let you survive the end of the world from your couch. No 80s keyboard gymnastics required. Available on PC and consoles, Wasteland Remastered preserves a classic, and it polishes it into something grim, weird, and completely worth revisiting.
What? Impossible! How can this be our god?
Resonance of Fate. A polluted Earth, a colossal life-sustaining machine, and a trio of stylish mercenaries caught in the gears of fate. Welcome to Resonance of Fate, a bullet-drenched RPG that doesn't play by traditional rules. Originally launched in 2010 and remastered in stunning 4K HD in 2018, this underrated gem offers a combat system so groundbreaking it's practically a genre of its own. Set within the towering structure of Basel, a machine built to preserve life after Earth collapses, you'll follow Zephyr, Vacheron, and Leanne as they take on mercenary jobs while uncovering a grand, melancholic tale of class struggle, existential dread, and twisted destiny. And while the plot is heavy, the gameplay feels like a John Woo fever dream. Acrobatic gunplay, slow-motion dives, and a battle system that fuses real-time movement with turn-based strategy. Shooting here basically feels like choreographing your every bullet, if that makes sense. Customization is deep, too. You'll tweak your firearms with absurd detail, turning pistols into Franken-guns brimming with attachments. The soundtrack, composed by Motoi Sakuraba and Kohei Tanaka, cranks the emotional resonance up to 11. Available on PC and PlayStation 4, this re-release sharpens every texture and keeps the chaos running smooth. It's strange, stylish, and absolutely unforgettable.
Well, I've woken up in worse places. Sword? Check. Trilby hat? Check. Right. Time for some breakfast. I'm famished.
Outward Definitive Edition. In here, you're not the chosen one. You're also not the last hope. You're just you. Broke, cold, possibly diseased, and late on your tribal debt. Outward Definitive Edition is where surviving until sunrise is an achievement on its own. Originally released in 2019 by 9 Dot Studio, this version bundles the Soroborians and the Three Brothers expansions with visual upgrades, new dungeons, and overhauled systems that finally sand down some of the original's rougher edges. Set in the unforgiving world of Ori, you'll trek across deserts, frozen tundras, and swamps, slaying monsters, but also managing hunger, thirst, infections, exhaustion, and even body temperature. Spellcasting requires rituals. Combat demands timing and positioning. And death doesn't always mean game over. You may get kidnapped, rescued, or left to rot in the wild. There's no hand-holding here, but there's freedom. The enchantment system offers over 85 recipes to customize your gear. You can rebuild a city from ruins. And with local or online co-op, misery loves company. Available on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, Outward Definitive Edition dares you to survive. No save scumming, no heroes, just grit, grime and glory. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. Crafted by a dream team, R.A. Salvatore, Forgotten Realms, Todd McFarlane, Spawn, and Ken Rolston, Oblivion. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning is the real deal. Remastered in 2020, this Fate edition bundles the full base game, all original DLCs, Teeth of Naros, Legend of Dead Kell, etc., and the Fatesworn expansion, which adds 5+ more hours of post-main story content. Oh, and you get the full official soundtrack, 35 sweeping tracks, 70 minutes of epic score. You awaken in a pile of corpses, freshly resurrected and somehow severed from fate. Translation: you can be whatever you want, warrior, rogue, sorcerer, or mix them all using the Destiny system, a dynamic class evolution mechanic that adapts to your play style. You'll tear through enemies using magical combos, stylish weapon attacks, and cinematic fate shift kills that never get old. The world of Amalur is massive, overflowing with quests rich in lore, politics, humor, and mystery. You could be navigating Rathir's golden spires, or spelunking through Brigand Hall caverns. There's always something to slay, solve, or loot. Available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, Re-Reckoning delivers hundreds of hours of action RPG bliss. It's a second chance for a cult classic that deserved more love the first time.
The wall between the living and the dead is under threat. You, it seems, have a part to play.
Our fate are in the hands of others now.
Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. Forget typical Exorcists, guys. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden gives you Red Mac Wraith and Antea Duarte, lovers bound by duty, and now by death. Set in a haunted North American settlement in 1695, this atmospheric action RPG from Don't Nod, the minds behind Life is Strange and Vampyr, delivers more than just monster slaying. It's a deep, gut-punching narrative about sacrifice, loyalty, and moral consequences. You'll investigate chilling curses that plague settlers, interact with townsfolk, hiding dark secrets, and decide fates, both living and spectral. When Antea becomes a ghost herself, your choices suddenly cut deeper. Banish spirits, ascend them in peace, or sacrifice the living in hopes of resurrecting her. Every haunting carries emotional weight, and your judgment shapes New Eden's twisted future. Combat is a brutal ballet of blade and spirit. Red handles the steel, while Antea unleashes ghostly devastation. Mixing physical attacks with supernatural abilities allows for deeply strategic synergies, especially against New Eden's grotesque bosses. Gear upgrades, relics, and branching skill trees further personalize your path through the shadows. Available on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, Banishers is a beautifully bleak reckoning with love, loss, and the undead. Choose wisely. Even in death, consequences linger.
Have the very streets of London become a mausoleum?
The previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No, it was something more vile.
Vampyr. Now that I mentioned Vampyr, let me ask you something. Blood or duty? In Vampyr, you can't have both. Set in the smog-choked streets of 1918 London, you step into the well-polished boots of Dr. Jonathan Reed, physician, scholar, and freshly turned vampire. The Spanish flu isn't the only thing draining life from the city. Something far older and hungrier stalks its alleys, and now that includes you. Developed by Don't Nod, yes, the Life is Strange team, Vampyr is a grim, morally tangled action RPG, where every citizen you meet could be a potential snack or someone's grieving family member. The game's standout feature is its social web. Each NPC has a story, connections, and consequences tied to their life or death. Choosing who to feed on boosts your powers, but also chips away at London's fragile stability. Combat is all about melee weapons, blood-fueled abilities, and stealthy movement, with enemies ranging from vampire hunters to twisted skulls lurking in the shadows. You'll unlock vampiric powers like teleportation, hypnosis, and dark magic to overcome the increasingly dangerous streets. Chained Echoes. I think if the golden age of JRPGs had a spiritual successor, built by sheer love and pixels, Chained Echoes would be it. Released in December 2022, this indie marvel was primarily developed by solo dev Matthias Linder, and it's honestly hard to believe. With its 16-bit visuals, layered world building, and an orchestral soundtrack that feels straight out of the PS1 era, Chained Echoes hits all the nostalgic notes without ever leaning on cliches. The story follows a cast of heroes tangled in political upheaval, ancient magic, and deeply personal stakes across the war-torn continent of Valandis. One minute you're fighting dragons in a ruined castle, the next you're piloting a mech through a sunken city. That genre-blending combo of fantasy and steampunk keeps the pacing fresh across the game's 30-40 hours. Gameplay here is fast-paced, turn-based strategy with no random encounters. You see enemies roaming and can plan accordingly. Skills are earned through character development and gear synergy rather than grinding, and even the airship you eventually pilot is fully customizable. There's crafting, exploration, betrayal, and yes, some beautifully punchy dialogue. Available on PC and all major consoles, Chained Echoes is a masterclass in how retro RPGs should be done today. Odyssey. When Hironobu Sakaguchi, yes, that Final Fantasy legend, set out to make an emotional RPG epic for the Xbox 360, he gave us Lost Odyssey, a sweeping tale of immortality, memory, and humanity's growing pains during a magic-fueled industrial revolution. Released in 2007 in Japan and 2008 globally, it became Microsoft's biggest console RPG at the time, spread across 4 discs and dripping with heart. You get to play as Kaim, an immortal soldier who's lived for 1,000 years but remembers none of it. Alongside other memory-lost immortals, he's caught in a geopolitical storm powered by magic engines, warmongering kingdoms, and one immortal, Gongora, who's a bit too into world domination. As Kaim recovers his memories via haunting, beautifully written short stories, you confront not just political conspiracies, but the emotional toll of eternal life. The game sticks to classic JRPG roots: turn-based combat, random encounters, world maps, and towns with inns and shops. But it innovates with systems like the aim ring mechanic for timed attacks and the mortal-immortal party synergy, where immortals learn skills through linked companions. With a soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu and story contributions by Japanese author Kiyoshi Shigematsu, Lost Odyssey earns its place in RPG history. Yume Nikki. Let me sum it up for you. You wake up. You can't leave your room. But how do you escape, sleep, and what follows? That's where Yume Nikki begins, and where its surreal, hypnotic descent into dream logic takes over. Originally released in 2004 by the elusive developer Kikiyama, whose identity is still a mystery, this freeware cult classic was made entirely in RPG Maker 2003, yet it defies genre conventions with remarkable confidence. You play as Madatsuki, a silent girl who ventures into her dreams each night. There's no dialogue, no combat, no clear goal. Instead, you're left to explore bizarre, often unsettling dreamscapes through doors in a hub world called the Nexus. Collecting 24 effects that alter your appearance or movement becomes your loose objective, but the journey is far from linear or predictable. Events trigger randomly. Characters might appear once, then never again. Rooms loop, music warps, and meaning feels just out of reach. Yume Nikki is a mood, a psychological excavation. It's influenced countless indie titles and helped pioneer the walking simulator genre long before it had a name. Available officially on Steam since 2018, this eerie masterpiece is as unforgettable as it is unexplainable. Don't expect closure, just expect to feel haunted. Still here? You've either got amazing taste or a serious case of FOMO, and honestly, we respect both. These 14 RPGs sure got buried by hype cycles, but they're the kind of games that stick with you long after the credits roll. So what's going on your must-play list next? Did we miss a criminally underrated masterpiece? Let's chat in the comments. And if this helped expand your backlog in the best way possible, hit that like, subscribe, and keep adventuring.